Hello everyone. My name is Abdul Waheed. I will be discussing depreciation of non-current assets. So we should understand first what is non-current assets. For the non-current assets, there must be three conditions. That means if the three conditions are there, then we can call it non-current assets. It's also called fixed assets. Number one, the asset has to be long life. Long life means more than a year. If it is less than a year, it is not fixed asset. And the second condition is that asset to be used in the business. I mean, that asset should be used in the business. If any asset, even if it is a long life, it is for sale, it is not considered as fixed asset. It is considered as current asset, that is inventory. Then the third thing is when we buy that assets that has the long life, that is life is more than 1 year, and to be used in the business. But when we buy, our intention was not to resell it. We buy it for use in the business. So if these three things are there, that means that is a fixed asset, right? Now we will discuss some definitions of depreciation, residential residual value, and then book value. First, we will discuss depreciation. What is depreciation? Depreciation is spreading the cost of non-current asset over its useful life. That means, suppose we have bought furniture for, let's say, 10,000 rupees, $10,000, and if you want to depreciate it, and we can divide this 10,000 over its useful life. Let's say 5 years. So 10,000 divided by 5, it is 2,000 per year. So that is depreciation. And this calculation we will be discussing, in our later in our lesson. Now the second thing is residual value. That is also called scrap value or salvage value. Residual value means what you can get after after the fixed assets finish its life. Like that is, but remember that is an asset, then estimate. It is not the exactly you can get that amount, but that is the estimate. That estimate value of non-current assets at the end of the working life. What does it mean, working life? That means suppose you buy a car, you are using for your transport, but its life finish, then that car cannot be used for transportation. So if it is that is working life is not working properly or is not able to work, is that car is not, providing you transportation service, you're not able to drive it, it is somewhere. So that means it has finished its life. So after that finished life, you can sell it for as a garbage or for scrap. So that value is called residual value, scrap value, or salvage value, right? So the next definition is book value. What is book value? Book value is the cost minus accumulated depreciation. What does it mean? That means, whatever cost of the fixed asset is there, and when you subtract the depreciation of that particular period of time, let's say after 1 year, whatever depreciation you have calculated, and then you subtract from the cost, you will get the book value. Book value means value according to our record. It is not the value which we can sell it. Maybe we can sell it at the higher price, maybe we can sell it at the lower price. But the book value is value of according to our record. So normally in accounting, book means record. So let's say I think you must have heard the word bookkeeping. Bookkeeping means record keeping. So when you subtract the depreciation from the cost, then you get the book value. Let's say after 2 years, whatever depreciation is in 2 years, when you have to add it and subtract it from the cost, then you will get the book value. So book value is actually the current value according to your record. Okay, that means original cost then minus so far what depreciation you have calculated. Now the second thing is, the next thing is method of calculating depreciation. There are many methods of calculating depreciation, but in our syllabus we have three methods of depreciation. One is straight line, other one is reducing balance method, and third one is uh, revaluation method. And we will be discussing one by one. Number one, straight line method. But the name suggests that a straight line method is normally used for the fixed asset like furniture, fixture, building. That means these are the assets which give you benefit over its useful life in the same way. Like, furniture if you are using is suppose the life of the furniture is 5 years, is give you the 5 year benefit in the same way. And the fixture also, building also. It is not, the benefit is not, reducing. So that is why we use the method, a straight line method for these kind of assets. And how to calculate is very simple. Simply, you just whatever cost you have, then your scrap value. I just told you, scrap value meant the estimated value. What you can get after is useful life. So when you subtract it, then you have to divide by its useful life. And again, useful life is also an estimated lifetime. Normally, it is suggested or given by an expert. And it is in average. If you are using in average conditions, then you can that life is there. Of course, that useful life doesn't mean you can exactly use for that particular period of time. If you are using it nicely, you can use for more than that life. But if you are using it roughly, then what will happen? You can finish your life maybe a little bit earlier. Let me give you an example. For example, I bought a car and you also bought a new car. Same model, same thing, everything is same. Even though the color is same, everything is same model, everything. You bought and I also bought. But the difference is, suppose what and my car is driven by my driver. Is he bringing me to the school and then he is going back to my residence. And after that, I really go out of my house and then go to for anything, maybe for going for shopping or something. My driver is taking care of the car. But your car, when you go after the school, you're just going with the friend, with the seaside, either everywhere you're moving. Whole day you are just roaming around. And then, and after 2 years, the condition of my car would be very much different from your car. So that is why they call it useful life, and that is also estimated and depend upon the, how you use it car. Okay. Now come to the next point is how to calculate it. How to use a straight line method. For example, uh, the cost is 10,000. We have assets, let's say furniture. So the cost of the furniture is 10,000 and a scrap value that's 2,000. That means after its useful life, I can sell it for 2,000 and I can get money 2,000 back. And the life is 4 years. So how to calculate for year one? What you have to do for year one, you have to subtract the cost. This is the cost. Let me show you. Suppose this is the cost. This is cost 10,000 and this cap value is 2,000. This is what we have here. Formula is, you can see the formula, cost minus scrap value upon life. So when you subtract from, if you subtract scrap value from the cost, then you get the depreciable cost. That is also one of the terminology. That depreciable cost means what you can depreciate it, and then divide by life. So what you get, that is $2,000 dollar, that is per year. If you go to next year two, the same thing you have to do. If you don't buy any, if you don't buy any additional fixed asset, then you have to calculate the same way. But if you buy some more asset, then you have to add in the cost. Cash will be increased, cost will be increased, right? So suppose in this case, I am assuming that we have only one assets. That I assume that as a furniture. So furniture costs 10,000 and minus 2,000 divided by 4, you get 2,000. That's in year two also you have to do the same thing. Same cost minus scrap value divided by 4, again 2,000. That is why it is called a straight line method, because depreciation of each year is same. If you have, provided you have only a single asset. If you buy more asset, that would be in the, you have to calculate it in the same way. Now come to the year three. Year three also you have to do the same thing. That is cost minus scrap value divided by life. That is 2,000. And year four you will be doing the same way. I hope there's no problem. You have understood. If you have any question, you may ask me. Okay, now this is a straight line method. If you go to another method, let me. Now come to the another method. That is reducing balance method. It's also called diminishing balance method. Diminish and reducing, same thing. So why it is called reducing balance method? Because every time when you depreciate, you reduce the value of, reduce the value and then you apply the percentage and then you calculate the depreciation. So what kind of method we use reducing balance method? The asset which can reduce its output or its efficiency gradually. So if its efficiency is gradually decreasing, then you have to you use reducing balance method. Why? Because at the early stage of the life of the asset, you can get maximum benefit. So you can charge maximum depreciation at the early years of the fixed asset. But when the life pass on, every 1 year, 2 years, 3 year, 4 year, the efficiency or the output of fixed asset is reducing gradually. So in this way, you can charge expensive depreciation expense and the lower way. So you can, when efficiency is decreasing, your depreciation charge also decreasing. How we can calculate? You see, now calculation is also very simple. But remember, this is cost minus accumulated depreciation. Remember, normal students, they confuse with cost minus scrap value and cost minus accumulated depreciation. Remember, cost is the same thing in the previous method we already discussed. But accumulated depreciation or scrap value, these are entirely different things. As I told you, scrap value is the estimated value what you can get at the end of useful life. But accumulated depreciation is something else. Accumulated depreciation is the depreciation you have charged so far, right? When I explain, when I give the example, when we solve it, then I will explain you again. Like, how to calculate. Suppose this is the cost is 10,000. Again, same 10,000. For example, this is an equipment. Cost is 10,000. Scrap value is 2,000. Life is 4 years and rate is 20,000. But remember here, it is, if we don't consider a scrap value here, okay, although in data, it may be given. Maybe they have given you this data and they ask you to calculate depreciation, straight line method, and reducing balance method. That is also called reducing balance method or diminishing balance method. These are same thing. So remember, in accounting, I mean, you have to take those data which is needed. Maybe examiner give you some additional or extra information, but you have to be very, I mean, vigilant that you have to take care of this data. You have to use that data that is needed. Other data which is irrelevant, you just ignore it. Don't think that the examiner has given the data, then you must use it. No. Sometimes examiner give you just to check your understanding, whether you really understand or not. So that in the data is given, cost is given, scrap value is given. I told you scrap value, another name is residual value, another name is salvage value. Okay, that's the value you can get it out for the useful life. And rate is 20%. So here actually cost minus accumulated depreciation. You have to use it, right? So remember that depreciation, accumulated depreciation is you have calculated so far. Let's see here. If you take the example here, so show you here. You see, this is the cost. This is the cost. Okay, 10,000. But the problem is, this is the year one. Okay, this is year one. So there is no depreciation so far. So what you can do, you can simply write 0 here only because there is no depreciation. That means zero depreciation because this is the first year you are calculating. This is the very first year you are calculating depreciation on reducing balance method. So what you have to do, you simply put 0. That means accumulated depreciation is 0 and cost is 10,000. And okay, I think you understood. Then multiply by rate. That rate is given 20,000. As earlier I told you, you don't need to consider, you don't need to think about the scrap value or the life because it is not needed here. Simply, what you have to do, simply in the formula, it is written there that cost minus accumulated depreciation into it. So very first year, there is no depreciation, so you are just putting 0 here. Now, come to the Uh, this is year one, calculate 10,000 minus 0. When you subtract, then you apply the percentage, 20%, then 2,000. Yes, year one depreciation. Now, come to year two. Now, come to year two. Year two, remember, this is same cost, right? Let me show you. So, this is the same cost, 10,000 here, and here also 10,000. But depreciation is, you have already calculated 2,000 here. So, you have to put it here. Previous depreciation. So you have to put it here 10,000 minus 2,000. Then when you subtract it, you will get 8,000. 8,000 multiply by, I mean, when you calculate 20% of 8,000, you will get 1,600. Okay. Now we are going to calculate year three. Normally, the student they think whatever they get here, they simply yeah, this is the common mistake student they make. What they do, because this first year one depreciation you have put in here, the second time the same thing you have to put here. No, that is wrong. Why it is wrong? The reason is because we have mm, uh, we have to write accumulated depreciation. We have to write accumulated depreciation. Accumulated depreciation means up to date depreciation or total depreciation I mean calculated so far. Or previous complete whole depreciation we have calculated before this year 3. So that is not 2,000, that is not 1,600. 600. That is actually what you have to do. You have to add it. This 2000 and 1600. When you add it, you will get a figure of 2000 and 1600. That that makes 3600. So cost is the same. Okay, same cost because this is the same thing. But accumulated depreciation is 3600. Why? Because so far, before this year 3, we have calculated depreciation is 2000 and 1600. So when you add all the depreciation here, is this place, and then cost minus accumulated depreciation, and then when you subtract it and you apply the percentage, that is 20% rate is same, and then you get 1280. And this is the depreciation for year 3. And when you that is year 3 is your homework, you can do it. But how will you calculate year 3 depreciation? In year 3 depreciation, you will write the same. Year 4 depreciation, what you have to do? Same cost. But what you have to do? You have to calculate, you have to write accumulated depreciation here. How much? It should be 1000, sorry, 2160 and 1280. You have to add, you have to add this one, and this one. So how you will calculate? You will write same 10,000 and minus 2000, 1600 and 1280. So when you add all the depreciation for up to year 3, and then you have to put it for to calculate depreciation for year 4. You have to put it here 10,000 minus that amount and the same percentage 20%, then you will get the depreciation for year 4. Okay. There is another way you can calculate it because this amount is already calculated previous year. So what you can do, you can just add 1280 plus 3600. You will get the same amount as 2000. Let me show you. Okay, so you will understand it. That's like 2000, 2000, 2000 plus 2000 plus 1600, then plus 1280. You see, you can calculate it. Let me calculate. That is 2000 plus 1600 plus 1280. That is 4880. And if you do the other way, like 3600 plus 1280, see what answer you get. It should be same. So if you calculate here like 3600 plus 1280, you see here, you get 4880. Okay, you can check your own. If anything, wrong, anything, any discrepancy, please let me know. So this is the same amount you get. So if you have some confusion, if you think that there may be chances of mistakes are there, so what you can do, you can just simply add the whole amount previously and then you can edit. And one more thing, sometime in exam they give balance BD. They don't give you this start from year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, whatever. So sometimes they give you some balance. For example, in this question, they have giving the uh, balance brought down in balance brought down depreciation, provision for depreciation. That is, that calculation, that TA count we will discussing later on. But suppose balance is given in the balance provision for, I'm writing little bit abbreviation. So balance BD of proven or depreciation is, let's say, 3,000, 3,600. So if balance is given, the same, I mean, they didn't give you all, they give you directly. They ask you to, they didn't give you all this amount. Okay. They simply ask you to calculate the year three depreciation. So what will you do? They have given the cost. So what you can do, you can, let me write here as well. Suppose they have given the depreciation here, and then they have given the cost, cost of equipment. For example, they have given 10,000. Okay. So what will you do? You will simply write cost, you will write here, and because it is already given balance BD, so you will write that balance BD here and apply the percentage, you will get the same one. Okay. So now come to the next stage. I think everything is clear. If it is not, you may just ask me. Okay. So year four also can be good. If you want, I can solve the year four as well. Okay, you can solve year four as well. Okay. The year four, as I told you, same cost. Cost is 10,000. What you have to do? You have to write 4,000. Sorry, 10,000 for year four. I can just put it here so that year four, 10,000. And you have minus 10,000. Oh, sorry, it is 10,000 minus year four. I mean that which I just calculated 2,000, 7,600 and 1,280. We just calculated 4,880. Right? You can check it out again. Maybe there is something I can recheck it. It is 2,000 plus 1,600 plus 1,280. Okay, this is, and then multiply with that is 20%. So then you will get the answer. Your answer would be, let's see what is your answer. So one 4,080. Then what you have to do, you have to write 10,000 minus 4,480, and then you have to apply the percentage, 20%. Then you will get 1024. 1024. So 1024 is the depreciation for year three. Okay. Year four, sorry. So this is how you calculate year one. Just notice it. In the previous method, every year there was same depreciation. But here you can notice that every year depreciation is decreasing. You see, it is 2,000. Only one cost is same. But here 2,000, it is 1,600, it is 1,280, and it is 1,024. So that is why, I mean, that depreciation is decreasing continuously. So this is initially I told you how to calculate. I mean, why we calculating reducing balance method? Because the benefit of equipment or machinery is diminishing day by day or year by year. So when in year one, I mean the machinery or equipment giving maximum benefit to you, so you can charge maximum depreciation. But in the subsequent year, the efficiency or productivity is decreasing, so you can charge, less amount than the previous year. So first year 2000, second year 1200, and third year 1280, and the fourth year is 1024. Okay, is it clear? So this is how we calculate uh, depreciation on by reducing balance method. Okay, then we can proceed to the next step. That is, I think I can just move all this. Okay, then revaluation method. Now the thing is, in straight line method, because the assets was giving the same benefit over its useful life. So we were calculating in the same, in the straight line method. Every year, same depreciation. And when the assets is, gradually decreasing its efficiency year by year, so we are charging, and we depreciation also charging gradually. But here, revaluation method are used where, your sometime asset itself does not exit at a particular rate when we are in a position to calculate. For example, you have tools are there in a workshop. So you are using tools in a workshop, and sometime uh, tools are broken, sometimes it is lost somewhere. Okay. And sometime if it is a workshop, in a car workshop, sometimes people with so many tools they are using at the engine, and sometimes they forget that small tool in the car, and in the then what happened when the car started and go, and maybe somewhere it is lost. And crates also there, see, crate there you can put the things. And the cutlery is the spoon, knife, fork you use in the restaurant. So sometime what happen, it is when you are collecting all the things in the restaurant. Sometimes when you are bringing it for cleaning, it is lost somewhere. It may be thrown in the garbage or somewhere. So the point is, at that time, some asset does not exist when you are in a position to calculate depreciation. Normally, we calculate depreciation at the end of the year. So what then? How we can calculate depreciation? So there is an method is called revaluation. So what we do, we simply, like what balance we have. Let's say we are taking the example of tools. Suppose the balance in the tools is how much it is? 12,000. This was the value at the beginning of the year. So beginning of the year you have the value 12,000. Then in the during the year, what you did, you you buy some additional tools, or you may have made it. Maybe some business they are making their own tool. So if they are making their tool, or they have bought the tool, whatever the case is, and suppose that is the value of that tools are 4,000. So now altogether you have 12,000 plus 4,000, 16,000 tools during the year you have. And at the end, when you calculated all the value of at the end of the year, you calculate the value of tools, it was 15,000. This is just an example. So then when you subtract it, you will get 1,000. That 1,000 actually depreciation. But in general words, that 1,000 basically it is, the tools may be broken, may be lost, or whatever. So this is the way to calculate depreciation for tools, crate, cutlery, and similar kind of fixed asset. So this is called revaluation method. You see why it is called revaluation method? Because every time we revalue, and what is the loss in the value is considered as depreciation for that particular year. So this is all. I think there are many methods of depreciation, but in our syllabus we have only these three methods. One is straight line method, second is reducing balance method, and third is revaluation method. Okay, I'm just last two. I will take only 2-3 minutes to recap it quickly. Okay, so non-current asset, you know what is non-current asset? There has to be three conditions to be call it fixed asset. Otherwise, it's not fixed asset, right? We already discussed it. There should be long life. There should be use in the business and not bought for resale. Remember, I think you already know that when anything you buy for resale, it is not considered fixed asset. It is considered as inventory, stock or goods. When you buy inventory or stock, it is considered. Okay. Now the second thing, depreciation. Depreciation is simply the spreading the cost of non-current asset over its useful life. Simply, you see whether you are using a straight line, diminishing balance method, or a revaluation method. Just simply spreading the cost of non-current asset or fixed asset over its useful life. And residual value is the amount you may get after its useful life. Another name for residual value is scrap value and salvage value. Now, the book value is cost minus accumulated depreciation. So, when you subtract accumulated depreciation means depreciation up to date minus cost, you get the cost minus accumulated depreciation, you get the book value. Book value means value according to your record. Now, the method of depreciation or method of calculating depreciation is straight line method. The straight line method is used for fixed asset or non-current assets like furniture, fixture, and building, which gives the same benefit over its useful life. So we calculate the depreciation in the same way. You can find it. The formula cost minus scrap value upon useful life. Example is 10,000, 2,000. Life is 4 years. When you calculate it, that is year 1, 2,000, year 2, 2,000, year 3, 2,000, and year 4 also 2,000. So because why it is same? Because we are giving the same benefit. So straight line method give the same same depreciation over its useful life. Then come to the another method is reducing balance method. That is equipment, assets like fixed assets like or non-current assets like equipment, machinery, or the things, car, maybe car, motor vehicle. This kind of assets you use reducing balance method because the performance of that asset is reducing year by year or day by day. So the formula is cost minus accumulated depreciation into rate, and the same example we have given. I told you just to use what is needed for your calculation. Other thing you need to ignore. Year 1, when you're calculating year 1, that is 10,000 minus 0. Why 0? Because this is first year and there was no there was no depreciation calculated before year 1. So there's no, that's why you're putting 0 here, and then apply the rate, and you have to ignore scrap value and life simply. So this is year 1, year 2, same thing, but here what you have to do, you have to previous depreciation, you have to write it here and then apply the percentage. And for year 3, you have to add this both value of the depreciation, then you put it here and then apply the percentage, you will get year 3 depreciation. And year 4 would be the same. I mean, you have to add 2,000, 1,600, 1,280, and put it here, subtract from the cost, and then apply the percentage. You will get the depreciation for year 4. And the devaluation method is the type of asset where, like you cannot have the asset at the end of the year. Sometimes it is lost or broken. So this kind of asset you use like tools, crates, cutlery. This kind of method you do is revaluation method. So suppose the balance at the beginning of the year is 12,000, and additionally tools you bought or made, that is 4,000, that makes 16,000. And then at the end of the year, you see the value of the tools is 15,000. When you subtract it, then you get the 1,000. And this 1,000 is depreciation expense for the year. Okay, thank you so much for your time. And we will discuss this next thing in the our next class. Thank you so much.